I'm Jimmy Young, along with Jimmy Myers. Say hello, Jimmy.
I'm still here.
I know, you can say hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Jimmy. How are you?
Good, how are you, Jimmy?
It's wonderful to see you, Jimmy.
Nice to see you too, Jimmy.
No. You can say all you want. No.
Because
Because
does
to
that
be
say that?
objective, he's supposed to be objective.
He's a
His
network
job
president.
is
What?
a network.
He's not a journalist. He's not a journalist. He's a businessman.
To me, ladies and gentlemen, it was wrong. He does not belong there. Now you can argue all you want.
No, I don't. We have to go back and forth. It's going to be an
Go
argument.
ahead.
That you almost become that person vicariously while you're writing it.
This is not going to be the stuff you're going to hear on your local radio station.
Jimmy, you're a legend, kid. I had to show
He is totally a legend, and I'm so that he is not the only person that is saying you're suspended for this many games, you're suspended for that many games.
All I have to do is stay black and look good. That's all I got to do.
Brilliant
It's
minds.
still going to come down to defense. And, Tom Jackson.
We watch Pats games here. I've watched Celtics NBA playoff games. I was here when the Bruins won the cup. I was in this place when the Bruins won the cup in 11. We had a great time.
This camera and wrap it up.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the Jimmy Sports Talk, live streaming on YouTube from the Knobscott Cafe in Framingham, Massachusetts. For Jimmy Young, Jimmy Myers, I'm Joe Berryman, and sorry to steal your line. That's what it is in sports.
Oh, I love it. Well done, Joe. Terrific job. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Live from the Knobscott Cafe and live on YouTube. It's the Jimmy Sports Talk Show. I am Jimmy Young, trying to talk.
And I am Jimmy Myers, always able to talk.
There you
Hello,
go.
my friend. How are you?
Good to see you. I don't
Good to see
need
you
this
again.
right now.
No, you don't need that.
Later on, though, we have a very special guest that we're going to be talking to about a very special project. That's called a tease. So we'll tell you about it a little bit later on the show. But everybody around here is talking about one thing, last night's Patriots-Broncos game. And Jimmy, as a Patriots fan...
Go for it.
I am here.
Be Mr. Fan. Make yourself happy.
I am very happy with the performance.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy that the crowd chanted Brady's better, Brady's better, Brady's better. I've come around to the right side after all this because I really thought Peyton Manning had more skills and had the better of the, it's very typical. This is very typical. Peyton Manning lost the game, still threw for lots of yards.
Yes, he did.
And had, if you look at just his statistics, you say, wow, he had a great game. No, he didn't. He lost the game. Tom Brady had very good statistics, and the Patriots won 43-21, really taking control of the AFC race 9 games into the season, if you will.
Okay.
Because now it's the first tiebreaker, head-to-head competition. So if the Broncos and the Patriots end up with the same record, the first tiebreaker goes to the Patriots. And I have said at the beginning of the year that the AFC Championship this year goes through Foxborough. I believe it.
I'm just listening.
I believe it.
Okay.
And I'm more convinced now than ever before if Rob Gronkowski stays healthy. Because if there's a most valuable player on this team, it's not the quarterback. It's the tight end.
I disagree.
Tell me. I'm glad you disagree.
I totally
Tell me why.
disagree with that.
Tell me why.
Because without Tom Brady, who's going to get the ball to Gronkowski? Gronk, you're having a wonderful season, and I'm grateful that he's finally healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. That Gronkowski is finally healthy again, Jim. But this game is predicated on the play of quarterbacks, and that's it. After the quarterbacks...
So you can't ever have a most valuable player that's never going to be a quarterback?
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in this case, you're talking about a man that was considered buried 5 weeks ago, Tom Brady, and all of a sudden he's buried. Forget traded. He was buried. Career's over. Can't play anymore. And I have no idea what's going on with Tom Brady. Something's wrong. Something's wrong at home. Something's wrong in the street. Something's wrong here. At the same time, he's still the catalyst of everything that happens. And remember, he's the guy that spreads the ball out to all the receivers. LaFell, Edelman, Amendola.
Danny Amendola had, count them, 2 catches.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm saying that it still boils down to how well he plays. Now, if I want to break the game down, I have to look at a couple of items that I still feel that I felt the same way last year about Denver. Their defense would be suspect. Their defense cannot win games, a la Seattle Seahawks, a la some of the more power teams over in the NFC. The Patriots defense is playing well, but they still have the ability to run from the front, Jimmy. They're a front-running team.
So are the Patriots, though.
have to get ahead of you.
Right.
I'm just saying the Patriots have
Right.
to be ahead of you
Yes.
to play well. Once they have to play a Baltimore, a Pittsburgh, somebody who could
Physical team. They're physical teams.
who can possibly establish a running game, which Denver never did yesterday.
No.
I mean, for the life of me,
think they
I'm
could.
still trying to figure that one out.
Well, 'cause they
But
couldn't.
No, I don't know about that.
So
But
I was going to say, do you give credit? Let me ask you: do you give credit to the Patriots defense?
Yes.
Or do you, as opposed to the game plan
no,
of the Denver Broncos?
No. Patriots credit to their defense. Game plan, horrible. But more importantly for me, John Fox once again showed me he is not a good in-game adjustment coach. He's a nice guy.
apology.
I've known John Fox for years. Great guy. I'm sorry, John. No. Now you flipped the script for me, and you put Bill Parcells on the other sideline yesterday,
Ooh, against
and
Bill
it's been
Belichick.
a totally different
There you
game.
go. That would
A
be an
totally different
interesting
game.
one.
So let's really talk, because there's in the October 20th edition of Sports Illustrated, Bill Parcells has a book coming out. All you Patriots fans need to read this, because this is going to be interesting. Because things are going to be said in that book. You can say it's history.
Right.
You can say it's history, but it's somewhat of a factual account of how this whole thing played out from Jets to Patriots to Jets, and so forth.
Can we get back to my original point?
But getting back to your original point.
About Rob Gronkowski.
No.
More valuable to the Patriots
No.
offense.
No.
See, I think it is.
No.
Because he gives so many mismatches. Teams don't know how to defend him. They don't know how.
They know how to defend him.
No, they don't.
No.
They don't know how to tackle
defend
him. They don't know how to defend him.
There are teams that can defend him. If he were going up against the Seattle safeties, they would defend him.
Take two of them.
It doesn't. No, it would take one of them, and a
would take two of
linebacker under. So no, Jimmy, no. Gronk, I'm happy for Gronk. Like I said, he's healthy.
He's gotta
But
stay healthy.
To say most valuable player on this team, no.
So look at it this way.
No.
And I know if you take him off and you take Brady off, because of the position of the quarterback, is still the most important position on the NFL football field.
Think of
I
this.
get that.
What about a couple of weeks ago when Gronk wasn't playing that well and Brady was still carrying the offense towards this 5-game win streak?
I think
so he's still the most valuable player.
I think that the presence of Gronkowski alone throws all the defense off on the other side. I think that opens up the field
Not the
to
real
every
good
other
defenses.
receivers.
Not the real good defenses
How many
to me.
real good defenses are
Not
there?
that many.
With that many penalties, with
Not
all the
that many.
referees making every call,
Not
if you breathe on the
that-
receiver, it's
not
a
that
it's a
many.
penalty. I mean, the referees last night or yesterday afternoon were creating these. I watched the game, and I became the referee's guide. Everyone's asking me, what's that rule? What's that rule? What's that rule? And I'm like, it's a rule. When 11 guys go off the field and 11 guys come back on the field, you got to wait for the defense to come on the field because that's the rule.
Which was a Bush move.
And it's a bad move.
It was a Bush move. That's a silly play. I mean, you're up by that many
A
points.
silly play, I agree. I wanted a fake.
What you're doing is you're degrading the game, and you're really, really rubbing it in your opponent's faces, because you can look at the Denver sideline. They were hot over that
they were
move.
pissed. Of course
they
were.
were ticked off about that move, and rightfully so. But let's
shouldn't
go
it?
deeper. Let's go deeper to how the game was called. Okay.
Oh, now we're going
Now,
there. All right,
now
wait.
we're going to go
Jump
there.
right
okay?
ahead. Boy, I'll
First
tell
and
you, I was
foremost.
gonna get to the
First
power
and foremost,
rankings.
there were two different strategies and two different ways that games were played yesterday. Home field advantage, Patriots. So many people talk about this being a home field league, Jimmy, but the biggest problem for me was the fact that Denver's receivers were just manhandled.
Yes,
and
they
there
were.
weren't that many flags on the field, gang. I know you're happy about your team winning, and I'm happy for you being happy about your team winning. But I've got to look at how the game is called. If you're going to allow guys like Brandon Browner, particularly,
He
who
got
can
called.
play
He
with
got
his
called,
hands,
though. He got called.
Jimmy, I'm not talking about 1 or 2 calls. I'm talking about 3 or 4 calls that aren't going to be called. And if you play constantly with your hands and you're going to be allowed to do it, we'll take 2 or 3 penalties. We don't care.
Right.
But it's going to bump guys off their routes. It's going to keep
Right.
guys out of a rhythm of where the quarterback can see them. But at the same time, you touch Edelman, you touch Gronkowski, a flag's on the field. Late flag against Gronkowski yesterday when the ball was clearly incomplete, and then a flag comes in like 10 seconds later. So yes, that makes you think, what are they calling? Then let's go, okay. One of the biggest plays of the game to me is the punt return.
Yes.
with a clear block in the back.
Absolutely
And
not. He
then-
got his
no,
head
no,
and
he didn't.
shoulders
No, he
in
did
front
not.
of the guy.
No, he
and
did not.
Every
And
referee
I
who
don't
explained
care.
it, Jimmy, said that.
I listen to my listen. The
Phil
referees
Simms
are
said the same thing.
hired
Oh, I looked
by
right to
the
the
league.
referee. I
The
get it.
referees are
So-
hired by the
so-
league. Excuse me. A guy doesn't fall on his face if he's being blocked from the side, Jimmy. He fell completely face first. He got blocked from the back.
He was not
And
blocked
an
from the back.
84-yard
He got his shoulder
punt return.
and his
No.
head inside
No,
that
he did
guy's
not.
shoulder.
No, he did not.
And that's why the flag didn't come out.
Good argument, but no. No, go back and look. You need to go back and look at
No,
the video.
I looked at
'Cause
the video
I'm
and
sitting
I
there
said
going,
the same thing. I had the same reaction Phil Simms
I
had.
said, whoa. Even Phil Simms said he questioned it. Even after the
No, as
carry.
soon as he said, my
even
eyes
after
went
New York-
directly to the referee to see if-
Even after the New York referee, Kerry was it? Mike Kerry in the
Mike
booth?
Carey,
Even and when he said, well, it's a legal play. That doesn't, no, because believe me, a lot of times I question a lot of the calls. That one was a key call because it turned the game upside down then. Then the
it
game was just gone.
Yes.
And I'm sitting to
It was
myself
a
saying,
wonderful
wait a minute.
thing.
Wait a minute. And the fact that, yes, they are a poor special teams team, Denver. They have been.
Yep.
They have a reputation of being a poor defensive team, which killed them in the Super Bowl with Percy Harvin making the second half kickoff that just blew the game wide open.
Right, yep.
But I'm looking at how certain calls are made, Jimmy, and when they are made. See, as a person that studies the game, I want to know why certain calls are made at certain times and other calls are not made. The play in the end zone with Jacob Tamme, when he ran, it's called a wheel route. His arm is pinned completely behind him. He's trying to make a one-hand catch in the end zone. I said, wait a minute. You breathe on guys in this, and it's pass interference, or it's holding. I love the famous holding defensive. I said, you can call holding on anything.
Right.
On anything.
So
Now,
do the referees have too much power? Is there objectivity or is it subjectivity? Because they look at a play and they say, I don't think I need to throw my flag here, but I will throw it here.
then that's subjectivity.
Right, that's
not
my point. And
objectivity.
it's a
That's
human.
clearly.
But again, you want the referees to be objective. I don't think they can, given the writing of the rules,
Okay.
and also given their instructions by the league
Okay. Let's go
to
one step.
interpret the rules.
Let's go one step further. And this is a key play in the game. Patriot linebacker Akeem Ayers breaks
another
in
one.
clean on Peyton Manning. The number one player in the league, regardless of what you want to say, he is the marquee player in the league. He doesn't go at his waist. He goes directly at his knees. Both knees lock. Believe me, Jimmy, my heart stopped for a second. I said, uh-oh, he just tore up his knee. Now, if that had been a season-ending injury, you can believe the league would have been looking today and said, whoa. Because remember, I believe it was later in the game, Tom Brady's rolling out to the right. Brady's looking for a receiver. Look at the receiver. Throws the ball away, and the Denver defensive lineman tackled him around the waist. He didn't tackle him at his knees.
Right, he wrapped him up and actually kind of held him.
And what did Brady do? Hits him in the top of the helmet because he's so angry because he thought he got hit late or whatever. And I'm saying, wait a minute, Tom.
Right, that was going out of bounds. He was going out of bounds.
It doesn't make a difference. He was still inbounds when he got hit.
I agree. I
Brady,
understand.
you can't complain when your counterpart almost got both knees taken out in one play. And
That
Akeem
was the
Ayers,
one play that I
I'm
was
telling
very
you,
surprised didn't get called.
that play worries me for one reason, because I look back at Tom Brady's injury more than anything. Whereas in that injury, the defensive back from Kansas City, he got blocked into Brady.
Right.
This
And
one,
really-
a clear shot. All the rules tell you cannot tackle him below
So I heard a
the
referee
waist.
explain today that because Ayers wrapped his arms around the legs,
No.
as opposed to hitting it directly on.
No.
Well, Jimmy.
No, because
I'm not
the-
saying
I know-
yes
I know.
or no. I'm
No,
saying
I'm
that's
saying-
what they said.
Okay, fine. So then referees are being subjective.
I think the calls are so tight.
The clear rule states it's the Brady rule. You cannot
Right, I know
tackle
it's the Brady
down
rule.
there.
I know.
I don't care if you're rapping.
So let's
I don't
talk
care
about
if you're tripping. You can't make that play like that.
How
Jimmy.
do you tackle Rob Gronkowski? Where do you go if you can't go at his knees? Because we don't want.
There are two sets of rules, Jimmy. It's different for quarterbacks than wide receivers.
I understand.
And tight ends.
Right, but because they're making a big point about this, because they're protecting the heads of players in the
Yep.
NFL, and rightfully so, okay, that they want you not to go for the head and
Got
up
it.
here.
Yep.
They want you to tackle from the torso,
Torso.
down
Right.
and
you're
above the
okay.
knee.
Yeah.
Supposedly above the knee.
Okay.
So if they make contact above the knee, which is what they claimed happened in yesterday's game, where they didn't throw the flag.
Nope. Well, you talk about Manning's play.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm talking
Ayers'
about
play.
Gronkowski.
Oh, Gronkowski. Yep. Okay.
With the same guy they hurt him last year.
Yeah, Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
T.J. Ward.
Right, T.J. Ward. So they didn't throw a flag there.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
that,
better not have flown the flag after the Manning
well, that's
play.
again. And don't you
But
think?
you're leaving the game wide open, and you're
That's what they
leaving
want,
players
though.
susceptible. But you're
so
leaving
that we can
players
sit here and
susceptible to
argue
injury.
about this. I think this is all an NFL conspiracy because they want people to be able to discuss it, and there's enough gray area in these rules. There just is.
Okay. But even if I give you that, I'm looking at the danger element in this game. This is a dangerous game to play anyway. I mean, you don't need to add another element of danger. The hitting and all that's going on out there, okay, we understand that. And like you said, a guy as big as Gronkowski, how are you going to bring him down?
Where are you going to bring him?
You can't tackle him up high. You can't tackle him high. If you don't tackle him waist or lower, game's over.
Wrap his legs.
No.
But you can't because he's got such long legs.
But the
you
whole
can't get both of those legs.
Yeah, and if you wrap his legs or you're down around the ankles where you can't be in the knee area, Jimmy.
I understand
the
that.
knee
I
area.
understand.
He lost last year.
Right.
I mean, he got boom.
And this is
it's
where
over.
and this is where I say this: if Gronkowski stays healthy into February, the Patriots win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, he hasn't played 100% in the Super Bowl
long
yet.
way to go.
I know it's a long way.
Long way.
It has more to do with injuries than anything else.
Oh,
and
probably
a little
does.
luck. And a little luck.
But everybody's talking about they're going to run a table. Whoa.
No, I don't think so. I think
It's
they have
still-
some tough games.
What did I say? A couple of weeks ago, I
looked
said
at the 6
13
games.
and 3.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be 13 and 3, and
it-
that's probably
and it
going to
could-
be the team
Yeah.
that's probably going to have
The number one
home field
seed.
advantage
Yeah.
and the number 1 seed. But there's no guarantee. If Pittsburgh's in there the way they're playing right now, if Baltimore's in there the way they
Well,
hit,
this
you
is the
do
crazy
not
thing.
want to be playing those teams, Jimmy.
It is. No, I agree. And if you look at the standings right now, you just mentioned the teams that have 3 losses.
Yep.
That's only 1 game behind the Patriots.
1 game.
You know, I mean that's Buffalo, Miami.
And Miami's playing their butts off, Jimmy. They're
Cincinnati
playing well
has a
right
tie,
now.
which obviously is going to kill them at some point. The
Cincinnati's-
Steelers have 3. The Browns, the
much
Cleveland
more-
Browns have
I'm
5
much-
wins and 3
but
losses.
I'm much
How
more
are they doing?
concerned about 2 teams. Baltimore, who's
5 and 4.
coming here and won playoff games here
Oh, yeah.
twice.
No, I agree. I
Twice.
understand
I'm
that.
much more worried about the
I
Ravens
never-
than I am about Cincinnati
The
or any
Ravens-
of those other teams.
the
The
Ravens-
Ravens will come in here and they're going to say, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going after Brady.
Period.
And we're not
I
sitting
think that's the
back.
way- that's the
we're
way you
not
have to
gonna-
beat 'em.
We're not going to sit back. I mean, come on. What is Denver's defensive plan yesterday? You're letting Tom Brady stand back here, pose, roll to the right, pose, come back, roll to the left, and throw balls. Listen to me. If you're going to rush Brady with 3 guys or 4 guys and you're not getting home, meaning getting to him, then you better bring 5. Now, just a little bit later, you're watching the Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh brought 5 all night. Baltimore turned around and said, we're going to bring 5 too. So they knocked down Roethlisberger early before he finally got warm.
touchdown passes.
Yeah, but they were pounding on him at first, and he was throwing the ball all over the lot. Quarterbacks, once you start hitting them, they become different creatures.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants
Would you
to get
be?
hit like that. I said nobody. Nobody wants to get hit like that, but I'm saying, why, if I'm Denver and I'm supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team, that I'm going to allow Tom Brady to stand back there, looking around. We're not sending blitzes. We're not, and you can say, oh, they sent a couple blitzes. No, I'm talking about we're going to rush 5 and we're going to defend with 6. And if we get beat that way, I'll live with getting beat that way. And I'm going to I'm going to play this way the whole game, and I might send 7 sometimes. But I am not going to allow him to sit back, play action, looking. Oh, there's Gronkowski. Bang. I'm going, no. Once, and the few times they got in his face, he threw balls away. The one time they got in his face, he threw an interception. So I'm saying
He also threw. Didn't he get called again for intentional
intentional
grounding?
grounding. I know, but I'm just saying.
How can
Jimmy,
he? I mean, wait a second. This is what bugs me about Tom Brady. He knows the rule.
of course he does.
You
And if he
can't-
didn't know the rule, he learned it in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
He learned that one.
I mean,
2-0 when he just threw the ball up the left quadrant. I said, what is he doing?
Aren't you
From
supposed
the
to
end zone.
learn from your mistakes?
No, I'm not worried about Tom Brady with that.
I'm
What
not worried
saying-
about that either. But
what I'm saying
stop doing it, Tom.
What I'm saying is, I'm looking at. I believe Jack Del Rio is still their defensive
Yes, he is.
coordinator.
Yes, he is.
Jack, what the heck were you doing yesterday? And
Get
truth
pressure
be
on
told-
Brady. That's
And
the way to beat him.
truth be told, what were you doing, John Fox? Because once I'm going into halftime, the game is over. It's 24-7.
27-7.
27-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Game's over. Game's over. You allowed the game to get totally out of control. It's not like when it was 31-0, and Denver led last year. You're still in Foxborough, where you know the Patriots can make a run. And even Peyton Manning himself admitted when the game was over, Jimmy, I stunk.
Good,
Now,
because he's on the
looking
decline.
Okay.
I think he's on the
all right.
decline.
But no, I'm looking at this though.
We knew that even before he
Forget
suited up.
forget being on the decline. He doesn't have the arm strength that he used to
No.
have. We both know that.
No.
He cannot throw the deep ball. So he's limited in a quadrant of the field that you can defend. Now they got deep a couple of times, and he did hit a couple.
One 41-yard
One
game.
But-
That was the first one that the Patriots gave up all year.
All year.
Over 40 yards.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Here is the
Late
difference.
in the game when it was
I'm
over.
I'm gonna go further as to say, maybe Peyton Manning's Super Bowl window is closing rapidly, or
It's closed.
possibly closed, because he's been there 3 times. He's only won once. He threw the major pick against the Saints that ended the game.
He can't play
He
in
got
big games,
killed.
Jimmy.
He got killed. No, he can play in big games. He got killed
Not
against
in-
Seattle.
Wait,
He
wait,
got
Super
killed
Bowls are
against
big
Seattle.
games?
Yes.
Okay.
Huge games. Those are
AFC
huge games.
championships are big games.
Big games.
Okay.
Huge games. He can
Right.
play. No, he can play. He can play in
So-
the right setting. Now, I mean,
And the temperature's got to be, 50 degrees because he doesn't like the cold.
Well-
Baby Peyton doesn't like the cold.
yeah, but then I want to look at, okay, before you got to get there, Baltimore doesn't care about the cold. Pittsburgh doesn't care about the cold.
No,
the
no,
real
I
good
agree.
teams don't
I
care
get-
about the cold.
I
They're going to come
understand.
here in the Foxborough and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Tom Brady is not going to be standing there planted saying, oh, I could just wait, or move a little to the left, move a little to the right, and I'm going to do, no. We're going after him. We're
the only way you can beat him.
That's the only way you're going to beat him.
And that's how the Giants did it
And
twice.
that's how you beat Peyton Manning. They came after him.
I think with Peyton, what they did is they backed 7 guys back on defense, and they took it
They didn't
away.
throw under. He
They-
threw under, but he
but
completed enough passes under, Jimmy.
Not-
No
not
running
key
game.
ones.
No running game,
And
Jimmy.
he couldn't see Rob
No running
Ninkovich
game.
in that interception,
No, couldn't see
which
it.
I think was really
Couldn't see
huge
it.
play.
Couldn't see it.
The other interception that Welker got absolutely killed on by Devin McCourty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was thank you very much, Brandon Brown, and then ran it back like 30 yards.
Yeah, but Jimmy,
I like
that's
that play.
what
That was
good
good.
defense does.
And they did.
What happens is Brandon Browner, who I said when he first played, I said, Jimmy, I want to wait to see what this defense does with Brandon Browner, because he changes the whole defensive backfield and how they play. Now Devin McCourty's playing more physically. Patrick Chung, he's like playing out of his mind.
Like he should have played
is-
years ago when he was in a Patriots uniform.
But wait
he's
a minute.
playing
but,
great.
but he's playing great
I'm not
right now
taking
because
away.
you got veterans like, and see, you can't put Revis in the same, Darrelle Revis in the same category because he's not
Not
that
the same-
type of corner.
No, he's not a
But
physical.
Brandon Browner has been a physical corner since he's come in this league. He played in Seattle where they get up at you and they make press coverage. You are going to beat Seattle. You have to beat them constantly by telling your wide receivers, you can't get bumped off your route. You got to fight your way through there because these guys aren't going to give you any airspace.
Right.
The Patriots are now playing like that. And if their defensive backfield plays like that, they're going to be tough.
And one of the penalties against Browner for making contact over 5 yards
Yep.
beyond the line of scrimmage, I remember watching the game and saying, this is only his 3rd game back. This is only the 3rd game that he's played with these new rules.
Right.
Okay, so he's still getting used to what I can get away with and what I can't.
But he's going to press the issue anyway, Jimmy. It doesn't make a difference. And
But he can
regardless-
release the guy after 5 yards and still push him
Jimmy,
off his route. He's
Jimmy,
going to have to learn
Jimmy,
how to do that.
Jimmy, he took Julius Thomas out of the game yesterday.
Right.
And Julius Thomas had 9 touchdowns. He's a key component in what their offense does. If we can shut down one guy, it changes everything. They didn't stop him. They didn't stop Manuel.
And by the way,
They didn't stop Manuel. They
That's
didn't
what
stop number
Belichick
10,
does
and
every
they,
week.
They didn't stop Manuel, and they didn't stop 88. I mean,
I know you don't like to call him a genius, but he's
Demaryius
a brilliant
Thomas
coach.
Killed them.
He's a
They
brilliant
killed
coach.
them. Now he's not
Bill
a-
Belichick
he's-
is a
he's
brilliant
coach. You can say brilliant. No, he's not reinventing the wheel, Jimmy.
I'm
He's
not asking
brilliant.
him. No, he game plans and takes one thing away from the other team every week and puts his game plan in place to enact that strategy. That's that's what coaches are supposed to do.
Next up is the Baltimore, is the
Indianapolis
Colts.
Colts. I'm not
I
ready
was
for them
calling
yet.
Baltimore.
I'm not done yet. I know, that's okay.
But I want to see.
Wait, I got more
on
to talk
turf
about.
when they have to play them with T.Y. with Yeldon and Wayne, Reggie Wayne, and the weapons they have on a faster surface. I want to see it, but go ahead. Let's go back.
A couple of things. No, just a couple of things. The power rankings, which are always fun to talk about. Arizona is still the number 1 team in the league.
I like to see them play them.
I think it'd be great.
Because they come with some heat.
I think it'd be
They come
great.
with some heat. Believe me, those Cardinals, they are playing. Believe
They are
me.
playing, and
I'm
it's
gonna tell you
fascinating to watch them. I
Arias,
love Larry
who's
Fitzgerald.
he's a good coach. I mean,
Yes.
this guy waited to be 60 years old to become a head coach, and is that good? And they're out of their 14-3 in their last 17 games.
No, they're
They have
legit.
to be reckoned with, particularly with San Francisco falling, because San Francisco is falling. With San Francisco falling, and the other problems that you're going to have in that division, Cardinals are looking good.
Yes, they are.
Cardinals are looking good.
We're going to have to put out a message there. I have a feeling that LA call that just came in might be our friend Joyce Sharman.
Well, we'll talk
Might
to
be.
her.
Well, we'll see. I put her into voicemail, and let's see if we get a message on her. Patriots have moved from the 7th-ranked team to the 3rd. And I think that's interesting.
Okay.
And
I can go with that. Doesn't bother me.
I think that some
Because power rankings mean very little to me.
No.
When you get down to the 11th, 12th, 14th,
Nah,
16th
means
week
nothing.
of the season,
Right.
I want to see where the pairings are then. I want to see who's here, and I want to see who's down here. Because Jimmy, it's, we can sit here and talk about power rankings. They were below 8th a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, they were.
Now they've climbed up to where they feel, where most people feel, particularly
They
New
should be.
Englanders, should be
Right.
anyway.
Right.
They said, well, they should have came out like this. They should have played like this.
No.
I mean, think about this. Let's say they had to play Kansas City in the playoffs tomorrow. And depending on where the game is, let's say they had to play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And depending on where the game is,
Right.
you think Andy Reid wouldn't run the same? Okay, guys, they're going to have to make some adjustments. And these are the adjustments we're going to make on top of their adjustments. But we're still going to rush. We're still going to put pressure and heat in the pocket.
I think
like
that's
we
the
did before.
most consistent way to beat the Patriots.
I think it's the most consistent way to
beat anybody.
Any good quarterback in the league.
But you have to judge
get
when
in
you're
his
going to
face.
blitz. It's that risk reward thing on blitzing. Do you blitz and allow a good quarterback to pick up that blitz and then,
Go
make a
back
key play?
and look at the Pittsburgh Steelers-Ravens game last night. They came at each other 5 men at a time. They're going to overpower the offensive line. We're going to send more than you have to block. We're going to make you throw the ball faster than you want to throw it. If Brady starts throwing the ball quicker than he wants to, and he's off rhythm, balls are going to be in the air that will be picked off. If you start hitting him early, which is still the old book on anybody, but mainly on Brady, if you put Brady on the ground 4 or 5 times early, Tom Brady can get jittery and start throwing the ball around too.
He's human, of course he
he's
is.
human. And
Right.
what I'm saying is that I don't understand the philosophy of head coaches in the NFL who are supposed to be making millions, and I can't figure this out. I'm making Bill Belichick brilliant as to what you're saying, and I can't figure out, okay, this is what they do. They spread the field. They're going to use these weapons, They're going to do this, and this. Why are we sitting back and allowing them to kill us in the seams, to gut us up the middle, to gut us down the center of the field? Why are we allowing this when we can say, look, we chip Gronkowski on the line of scrimmage, and we take a linebacker with him as far as we can, safety over the top, and maybe the other safety coming over. Now, like you said, or you intimated, I'm going to make somebody else beat me. Now, if I know Gronk is hot right now, let's see if we take him away, what they do. Somebody in this league's got to be smart enough to say that, Jimmy.
I don't think they can take. I don't know how you defend. You came up with a way. I get it. But I'll tell you what,
Jimmy, anyone in this game can be defended.
That catch he made.
It's a phenomenal catch. But Jimmy, that's one catch. Anybody in this league can be defended if you have the personnel to go out and defend him. Don't say he can't be defended.
Well,
Yes, he can.
let's see it. I want to
Yes,
see a
he
team.
can.
I want to see a team take Gronkowski out of the game because I don't think they can.
Did he play against Kansas City?
Yeah, but that was his. What was it? The 4th game back after his injury. I don't. Those first 4 games
Okay, you
were
don't
the
watch
exhibition
them.
season.
Okay,
No, I wash
Fine.
him away. It's
I
like
don't
the
look at it
least
like that.
important
Okay.
month. It's the least important month.
I'm going to look at where they're going to go. Okay, let's go back. Miami. I just said the Dolphins, how well they're playing. Miami. Miami's going to cause them problems. If they match up with them, they're going to cause them problems because Miami thinks they can beat them now.
We got a note from Joyce that she has a family emergency, so she's not going to be able to do the interview.
Oh,
which
I'm so
means it's
sorry
going to be
to
more
hear
of
that.
us.
That's all
we
right.
work very hard at getting all that stuff, but that happens.
We will get you back. I'm praying that everything's going to be all right with
It's not a good day for that.
That's
let's
the
just
most
say.
important thing. Yeah, well, we'll
Let's
get
just
to that
say.
later. But I'm just looking. I have to look at how the whole mix comes about. When I'm looking at a game, I'm not looking like this. I look at a corridor. I look at the whole field, and from the moment that snap is taken, I am taking mental pictures as to how the scenery evolves. What happens to get certain things going? Remember, Gronkowski's not just getting open by himself. Defenses are looking other way. Up, there's a back in the flat. Up, we got to go there. That opens up the seam. Up, there's Edelman on a cross, whereas that leaves Gronkowski out in the flat. Okay, but don't tell me he can't be played because everybody in this game can be played if you play them correctly. So
if you have the right personnel, and
right
I
person,
don't know if you
but
have.
I'm still going to go with what the hell are these NFL coaches thinking? If this guy is killing us every single week, we can't come up with a game plan to figure him out, or at least
I don't know if they have the right personnel.
You just talked about brilliance.
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't take brilliance, Jimmy, to take him out of the game. Say, look, we got it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to bracket him. Defensive end chips, linebacker picks up this guy, and he's faster than most linebackers. He's as fast as some of the tight safeties that'll play him. But don't tell me you can't pinch him in tighter. Okay, then if Edelman gets open more, we're going to hammer Edelman the ball. We're going to hit him as hard as we can, throw him all over the place. Tough little guy, but just like Welker used to be here. Who was tougher than Welker over the middle? Tell me who you think was tougher than Welker. And he's not that good over the middle anymore.
No,
but when
he's not.
he was here,
Right.
he was devastating over the middle. So
who's
now
better now? Is
now
Edelman better than Welker right now?
Maybe, but
Yes.
look at this, Jimmy. Look
He
at this.
is
Well,
better.
that's your opinion.
That's my opinion. I think
But
he's
I'm
better.
saying you have. This is what you have. You have Gronk on this side. You have Edelman outside, or you've got Edelman over here. Now you have two guys that spread the middle of the field. Now, Brandon LaFell. Nobody's even talking about him.
Right.
He's running posts. He's running flies. He's running corners. He can get open because now Brady's found a comfort with him. Now I got a third weapon. Now I've got 4 or 5 weapons. Vereen can catch the ball. Shane
he
Vereen
can.
catch the ball. I mean, he
The fact
is
that
a
he's
wonderful back.
just got to learn he's got to actually catch the ball before he starts to run downfield.
That's all right. That's all right.
You know, we all do. They all do it.
Believe me,
It's like,
everybody
I'm
does
ready
that.
to go.
But I'm saying,
Gotta catch the ball.
this guy makes plays, and he makes big plays, Jimmy. And if you're looking at what you're going to do, I mean, you say that Bill Belichick is brilliant.
Yes, I did.
I'm saying that doesn't say much for the rest of the coaches in the NFL. Because
No, it
if you
doesn't.
can't figure out a way to stop this genius, which I have a major
I
problem
didn't
with
say
that word.
genius.
Okay, but I'm just
I
saying.
called him brilliant.
Okay. But if you can't figure out a way to compete at the NFL level and you're making $2 to $5 million a year, most of these coaches
Yeah,
are making that,
yeah.
what are you doing? Where's your brain? I mean, this is not rocket science. It's pro football. And if I can't figure out a way to be there and figure out what I'm doing, you have a guy named Dick LeBeau, who was in Pittsburgh for 44 plus years. And look at how Pittsburgh's defense has played most of those years.
Right.
You know what Pittsburgh's going to do.
Right.
You have a clear-cut picture. It's called Blitzburg.
That's
when
right.
we go in there, they're coming after us. And we know we got to get rid of the ball fast. We got to make our reads quick. And ball in a tight window that we don't feel secure with. Bingo, something bad's going to happen. And I'm just saying that as I look at so many teams, Jimmy, I don't think it's really hard to beat them. I just don't.
Well,
I think the
only two
Patriots have a
teams
tremendous advantage because they are that much better at what they do than the other teams that are defending them are as good at what they're supposed to do.
And don't you think that has something to do with the parity and the salary cap era?
No question.
And that's
No question,
again,
Jimmy.
So you've got to coach up the bottom 20 players of your team, and also the players that you have available to you that aren't injured. I mean, don't forget the Patriots are still missing their 2 best
Yes.
defensive players, Jared Mayo, and Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones, yep.
And a lot of people are telling me Chandler Jones may not be done. He may come back. I don't know.
risky.
I don't
Very
know.
risky.
If he comes back, it's going to be in January. But anyway, we'll worry about that once you get to January.
Okay.
Is that all right?
And you left out Ridley. You
Well,
left out
I
one
left
of your
him out
top offensive players.
And because you know what? Running backs, I don't want to call them a dime a dozen,
Okay.
but the running back, the role of the running back has been diminished in the
Has
NFL.
been in the past happy NFL. Yes, it has been, but you still need a solid running game.
I agree.
I mean,
to set
think
up
about-
the passing game, to
think
set up
about-
your play action fakes.
Think about Seattle. I was watching them yesterday, and I'm looking at Marshawn Lynch, who they're talking about running out of there after this year because it caused a lot of off-field problems.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a guy that he takes that punishment. He takes a 3-yard gain, he turns it into an 8-yard gain. And he constantly keeps the defense aware, so they're compressed, Jimmy. They got to be in here. We have to play 5. We have to play 7 in the box. And if we're playing 7 and 8 in the box sometimes, if they're running it real well, why don't you bring 8 guys in the box? Russell Wilson, a little tiny, and he's small. Like, I can see the field now. I can roll out. I can roll this way. I can hit
like him.
passes. He's a good player, Jimmy.
He's a
But
good
I'm
player.
just saying, you take Marshawn Lynch away from him, and he is a totally different player.
No, I get
because
it.
for the last couple of weeks when they've struggled, he hasn't gotten production out of Marshawn Lynch. So here's a case where a running back is that valuable, is as valuable as just about as valuable as your quarterback. Now, no, he's not as valuable as Russell Wilson, but you have to find somebody that can replace what he does. Now, going back to yesterday, the difference, no Sean Moreno. Last year, when they got to
Right,
Denver,
right.
no Sean Moreno carried the running game along with Monty Bell.
Yeah, and
Monty
I'll
Ball,
tell you-
excuse
and I'll
me.
tell you the other
With
thing.
Monty Ball.
Don't
And they
forget
had
last year-
both of those guys.
They had replacement players
Yes.
on defense. The
Yes, they
Patriots
did.
because
That's true.
Everybody got hurt in that line.
Yeah, but at the same
And
time.
if you don't have Vince Wilfork in the middle there,
Agreed, but at the same time, you still got gashed
You still
by
get
a
it.
running
I get it.
game.
I get it.
You don't have Peyton Manning throwing
Right.
60 passes.
Right.
Instead of being able to say, okay, look, need a little breather here. We're going to turn around and hand it off 4 or 5 times.
hands it
Bum,
off. He likes it.
Bum,
Yeah, well.
bum, bum. Now we've got them in the box. We got the 7, 8 guys coming up in the box. Now we play action. Now we're looking down the field. We have guys open. But we still talk about the subjectivity of NFL reffing. Jimmy, that's a key factor yesterday.
I agree.
I felt coming into the game, I said,
That's why you want the
Denver
games at
is
home, though.
in trouble. I said, the Patriots are going to come out here and they're just going to put hands everywhere. And if I'm a defensive player, and I figure the most I'm going to get is maybe 2 calls against me. That gives me, out of 10 calls, I've got 8. I got 8 times.
not that obvious.
I'll take-
It'd be more
I'll
like
take-
this. It'd be
yeah.
more like,
It doesn't make a difference. No. They were here yesterday going, come stay with me. I want you to be my best friend because you're not running that post pattern. You're not running that
Can we-
corner. You're not running that seam route. No.
I want to go back to Rob Gronkowski because after he made that catch, okay, after he made that catch, he went wide left.
Very next play.
The very next play,
Runs a post
and he
pattern.
had a midget on him.
Runs a post pattern. No, he had a linebacker. He had a linebacker.
He looked
And
like
I'm
he was a
saying-
foot.
I'm sitting there going. I'm sitting there going.
He's throwing the ball to Gronkowski.
That's what I said. The reason being is that knowing Brady,
But if
I
we
said,
know that,
first
why
it
don't
should have
they
been a
know
touchdown.
that?
No, first should have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
And
I think
so
so.
he gets up off the ground and says, Tom, they took a touchdown away. Don't worry, big fella.
I'm coming right back to
Just
you.
go over there.
That's right.
Just go over there.
With one guy on you.
And you don't even have to just do anything.
That's right.
It was very little move. Jimmy, he got 1, 2, cross it.
I don't know if did you hear
Ball's
Brady
right here.
today? Did you hear Brady today?
Ball right there.
Brady on the radio today in his
Nah, I don't
normal
listen to
Monday
that stuff.
uniform. I know you don't, but I listened to him. And
Good, that makes one
he
of us.
was talking. It was funny. The sports talk show host who asked Brady the question, he says, "So you guys are like on the same page? Is there like, do you wink at each other? Do you touch your helmet? What's the signal?" He goes, "Guys, that's top secret information. I can't give that away
right,
to you.
Tom. Right.
It's a look.
Tom.
It's a look.
Tom. He nodded.
Right.
You nodded.
Right.
Linebackers.
I nodded.
No, the linebacker standing in front of Gronkowski going, help, help,
Okay.
help, help. He said, help, help. No.
There was no help at that point. There was no help coming.
He was going, oh, please.
He needed the
somebody."
Hulk.
He did like, said, oh, please. Anybody come over here. Anybody
great.
come over here and say, I'm going to give you a little help on this.
Yes, sir.
I was sitting there like, and I
Three
said to
guys.
myself- I
Three
said to
guys
myself,
could have gone over there.
Here you go. I could have said, okay, he's out there. This is what we're going to do. move our defensive end in front of him, move our linebacker on this side, and move our quarterback or safety on the inside. Now, make him throw the ball somewhere.
Can I talk a little bit about their fullback, James
gosh.
Devlin, a little bit here? Because
ahead.
nobody talks about the fullback on this team.
Okay.
And the fact that he had 2 catches yesterday, just 13 yards, plus provides all that blocking. I like the guy. I like his efforts. I like his strength. I think he's the only guy who can run in between the tackles, to be honest with you.
On this team.
On the Patriots team.
Okay.
On the Patriots team.
What about
And
Gray, the guy from Notre Dame?
he is a better outside runner. I mean, he's a cutback guy. He's a typical running back. Devlin is a better
He's tough.
blocking fullback.
Both of them
I mean,
are
he's
tough,
a true
though.
fullback.
Okay.
The Patriots are one of the few teams that actually use a fullback.
No,
still.
they're not. No, they're not.
One of the few teams
Cardinals.
that are.
The Cardinals use their fullback.
Oh, wait. Give me the
Seattle-
other best
Seattle-
team in the league?
Yeah, Seattle uses their
Oh,
fullback.
the defending Super Bowl
Because
champs?
when you can get a fullback that can catch the ball like these guys can,
I agree.
he's like that uncovered guy. Look, if we're going through a defensive meeting
Right.
and we're going, okay, now they're down around the goal line. Now, these are the guys we have to look out for. Gronkowski, LaFell, Edelman,
Tim Wright.
Tim Wright. You got to add him in there too. Wait a
Tim
minute,
Wright.
but here's the best part. Shane Vereen. How the hell are we going to count for Devlin? We're going, who? Coach, we're supposed to cover who? So all Devlin
What
does,
number is he?
Fake block down, drift in the flat and go, I'm right here and I can catch. Brady goes, looks down, check 1, check 2, check 3. He didn't even look over there. He did like this. Check 4. He just threw the ball.
So-
he didn't have to look. He says, I know he's wide open. So because if these guys have all this coverage,
Right,
these
somebody's
guys
gotta be
are
open.
wide open.
Right.
Please, man.
That's right.
Please.
Throw
This is
one block and get
not
out into the wing and we'll find you.
surgery.
All right.
It's just that the other coaches, to me,
What are they
are
doing?
so bad. I'm sorry. Coaching in the NFL is not what people think it is. The few teams that have elite coaches, I'm telling you right now, when we get Bill Belichick's book, I bet you and I both sit here and talk about it. We'll try to get him on too if we can. But
Belichick?
No, I'm Parcells. Excuse me.
Parcells.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Belichick wouldn't come home.
I'm listening.
He'd be too afraid. But anyway, if we get Parcells on, I guarantee you after we read that book, we're going to say, he can coach in the game today. He can
Parcells.
come back.
Oh, yes.
Bill Parcells can come back and coach right now. And how long has he been away from the game?
5 years.
5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. He can come in and say, okay, guys, I can't wait till I play against the Patriots. I just want to play against one team, and I'm going to show you
How to game plan.
we game plan them. That's all I'm saying. Because, Jimmy, it's really showing me what these other coaches are just not that good at, Jimmy. I don't know if I don't know if it's your defensive coordinators. I don't know if it's your coaches. I don't know what you're thinking when I'm looking at.
I don't think they have the personnel. I
Okay.
don't think they match up well.
Okay.
And they
All
don't
right.
know what else to do.
Then we have to gimmick. Then we have to
Blitz
We
and-
have to play funky defenses. We have to blitz. We have to corner blitz. We have to be sending guys from 6 and 7 different angles. We have to overpower this still questionable. Let's not get crazy and happy. Offensive line. We're going to put them under stress and see what they can do when they have to block 6, 7 guys.
I agree.
Every play.
Yep.
We may take 3 or 4 series. We're sending 6 on this series. What? We're sending 6 the whole series. If he goes down the field and beats us with 6, we'll lose.
Right.
And that's how Bill Parcells, the coach, he'd say, if they beat us, I'm
this.
boiling 6 guys in oil. You guys can come out, get in the pots so I can boil you, and 6 more guys go in. It's not that hard, Jimmy. It's really not.
Well,
This is
I
why-
don't think anybody can do it. And I think that Gronkowski is the reason why you cannot game plan against the Patriots.
Oh, I think somebody's
they
going to show
just-
you.
Well, I'll wait
There's
to see it.
got to be
Show me,
somebody
show me.
out there. There will be somebody out there that will show you because Miami showed me they can play him.
All right, that's the next step. You know, if you notice, Miami is one of those 5-3 teams.
Yes.
And Kansas City is another one of those 5-3 teams.
2 teams that worry me. They worry me.
They've already beaten the
Because
Patriots.
they haven't beaten them here.
Nobody could beat the Patriots here.
Don't
What is it,
Jimmy,
47
stop
out? Hang on a
saying
second.
that.
No,
Don't
but
say that. Anybody can be beaten anywhere, Jimmy.
Yeah, okay, fine. On any given day.
Philbin is a very good coach for
40,
Miami.
I think in the last 40,
Yeah.
50 games in Foxborough.
What a home field advantage, okay?
47 and 3 is a
47 and
pretty
3.
impressive home
Great.
field advantage.
But what
Regular
I'm saying
season.
is, Ravens came here and beat them in the playoffs. Not once.
I know.
They beat them twice.
Yeah, and the Giants beat
Sent
them in the
home
Super Bowl twice. Yeah.
Giants. So
And
don't tell me
they don't match up well with
Super
physical
Bowl,
teams.
Super Bowls aren't playing.
I know,
played
but
here.
it's still physical teams.
Physical teams. But what I'm saying is that as you get to the end or you go near the end, somebody is going to say, look, we're going to play physical. We're going to come at these guys. All right. Okay. Let's say they made it to the Super Bowl.
No, it's
They play Seattle. Okay, when? You can call it whatever you
I
want.
know
Let's
you
say-
don't like predictions.
And I don't. But let's say they made it and they had to play Seattle.
I don't know if Seattle has the tools. I mean, I'll tell you what, Pete Carroll, excellent defensive coach, knows how to game plan.
You think he wouldn't relish playing against
Oh,
Belichick?
I think
You
that's the story, actually.
Thank
I
you.
actually think that's the best
story would be
scenario.
better than the game.
Right, I think that's the
Leading
best
up to,
scenario.
does Pete
Because-
get even for what
because,
happened
you know,
to him in
a
New
lot
England?
of people have written off the Seattle
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
because of the start they've had, and they've
That's
lost
the
some games.
Percy Harvin drama. That's all the stuff that was going on in the locker room. They're trying to clear that out. And plus, Marshawn Lynch knows he's done. This will probably be his last season unless he does a complete 180 in his behavior.
5-3.
They're right there, Jimmy.
I know.
And believe me, they're going to play the Cardinals. The team that's in trouble to me is the 49ers.
I can't understand that either.
Jimmy, they're missing key personnel.
I know it.
Like you just said, you can't play without personnel. They get Aldon Smith back this week, right?
Yes, I think so.
All pro player.
Yes.
Ray McDonald, his crazy self, he's coming back. They got 3 or 4 people that are coming back, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm not worried about them. I'm telling you.
So again, Seattle goes for the first back-to-back Super Bowl win.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pete Carroll against his old team, against the Patriots. I love that story.
It'd be a
I'd
great
like to
drama.
see that game,
It'd be
actually.
great drama.
I'd like to see that game.
Great drama, but I'm going
If
to tell you something.
Gronkowski's
I'm gonna tell you
healthy,
something.
I like to see that game. If he's not healthy, I'm not going to watch, just like the World
I
Series.
don't care if he is healthy. We'll get to the World Series. Don't worry about that. You're not getting that.
I wanted
that
to see
one.
if I
You're
snuck
not getting
that
that.
by
No,
you.
gotta say
I
he's
thought
not-
if I
he's
snuck
good.
that by you.
He's good, but he's not that good. Okay.
All right.
We'll get back to that. Mr. I don't need to watch the World Series. Boring. Whatever.
Okay.
But no, hold out. Hold on. I don't want you to hold that.
He's imitating me. He knows that's what I'm going
Right.
to say.
But Jimmy, I would love to see
It's here.
that game with
We all like to see that game.
Seattle's pass rush,
Yes.
those linebackers that can play in space with people and are good athletes, as athletic as Gronkowski. I'll take my chances. And Cameron back at safety and Thomas back at the other safety. Bring it on. You want to
That'd
play?
be great.
And if you get to the Super Bowl, great. Now, if you get to the Super Bowl, remember, we talked about Peyton Manning's window closing.
Oh, no,
right?
the other one is too.
3 Super Bowls. Tom Brady's window.
It's
What if
closing.
they get there and they play a more physical NFC team and he loses again? That'll be 3-0 to 0-3 in Super Bowls. That'll
Correct.
be 6 Super
What does
Bowls.
that? What does that do? How do you, when you rate a quarterback? I mean, is that the fact just getting to the Super Bowl? Isn't that an
I
accomplishment?
think you don't.
They all
I do.
actually, the players
I do,
actually recognize
but
that.
you're sitting here. But you're sitting here. That's Ice-T. You're sitting here. You're sitting here chopping up Peyton Manning and saying Peyton Manning he's
They're
done.
on decline.
or whatever. He's in decline. And I'm trying to tell you, think about this. If he can get them there, anything can happen. Now let's
Right.
turn
No, it's
back,
one game.
Let's turn back the clock.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
1997-98, if memory serves me correctly. You have John Elway, who had lost, who had got blitzed in Super Bowls.
Right.
Right? He's winding down to the end of his career and saying,
Hand the ball off.
Man, please.
Time to hand the ball
Somebody.
off.
He finally gets Davis,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Running back, number
Yep.
30.
Terrell Davis.
Finally,
Yep.
Terrell.
Yep.
And they're running the football. And Green Bay is just mopping them up and down the field, and they come back and score. Great game because it was wide open. Then the one signature play. Elway sees it, rolls out right, gets hit, spun like a pinwheel, comes down, boing, and he's still alive.
Right.
He's still alive. Forget the fact that he didn't fumble or anything else. He lands on the ground. I said to myself, oh, this is it right here. I said, and all the team ran over, John, we love you. We're here. We're here. We're right here to score. We know what we know what we can do. We know where we are, right? They score, they take the lead, Green Bay comes back, they wind up stopping them, they win. Then the very next year, they come back, and who are they playing? the Atlanta Falcons,
Right. Oh, my
who
goodness.
the Minnesota Vikings had beat that year. They had them beaten until Brian Billick, offensive coordinator. Where was his brain? I don't know what happened to him. Right before the half, they leading. He's got people throwing passes. I believe it's Randall Cunningham. Throws a pass, gets intercepted, turns the whole game around. And Chris Carter to this day still says, what were we thinking of? Here was our chance to go to the Super Bowl. Never got there. But they beat Atlanta. They hammer Atlanta the next year. Be like 31-16 or something. They beat them badly. So you got back-to-back Super Bowls for a guy who lost 3 up front
Right.
and won 2 in the back.
So you
And
think that
when
scenario
Elway
might
retired,
exist for Tom?
When Elway retired, what happens? Here's a piece of the franchise. You can be vice president. You can be glorified.
So let me ask you a question.
And the 3 were
Hang on.
forgotten, just like that.
Do you think that scenario can happen here in New
It
England?
could very easily be Brady.
With Brady.
losing 3.
And
could very
Brady's
easily
still
happen.
getting a piece of the team.
Yeah. If he
And
wants it.
I
I don't
it, right.
think that Tom is in that.
does
I
he end
really
his
don't.
career in New England, or do they try and get something for him
With
at the
this
end
franchise, please.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything past this franchise. They may say, Tom, listen, Garoppolo is the guy now. We think he's ready, and we need to put you out the pasture. And Tom says, I still want to play. But the best part would be,
You
this is
have
the
to say,
scenario.
here's where I want to play.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Here's where I want
what
to
if
play.
he said,
I
I want
wanna
to go
see-
play for the Jets?
Well, you know, the Giants. Because he's got, New
No,
York. They're
no.
always in New York.
No,
the two
my
of them.
head just started spinning when I said, I hope I don't even pass out. But could you imagine he said,
He'd be more apt to
I
go to
wanna
San
play,
Diego.
I wanna play
Go to
for
San
the
Diego.
Jets."
Which,
Could
by
you
the way,
imagine?
brings me to my next
People
comment.
would be catatonic
In this town?
if he said that.
The
He
Jets.
said, no, check this out. He said, I want to pay the Jets back for giving us Bill Belichick. So I'm going to go down there and play for them.
Okay, and if he does, then he'll move.
I'm being
then he'll
silly.
go on.
I know, but it would be fun to hear that.
And then
Oh.
he'll go on and run for president.
Oh yeah, right from there. Because I got to get the New
Because
York
if he
vote.
can make them
I
happy,
have to
right.
get the New York vote.
That's
so
right.
I need the New York vote. So I got to go play for those guys.
I'm telling you, Tom Brady's going to be president of the United States. Yes, I'm going to thank my sponsors, the Knob Scott Cafe.
Yes.
Here in Framingham, Burger Night. People are still out there having their burgers and enjoying it. And we'd also want to thank my pals from Scrub-A-Dub Car Wash, which, by the way, I don't even think I have a car wash to give away, but we have other stuff to give away.
Thanks a lot, pal.
Tell me.
You gave them all away.
No, I
You
did
didn't
not.
even save 2 car washes for us.
If you want a car wash,
I don't want a car
I'll give
wash.
you a car wash.
I don't want a car wash.
I know.
just
I
wanted
have
give
to
you
talk
grief.
to my
I
friends.
just wanted to give you grief about the car wash. Never mind. Forget it. It's over. It's
I
over.
got one.
It's over.
I
It's
got
over.
one. I got one. I got one. I got one. I
Excuse
got
me,
one.
Can I see that?
I got one.
Can I see that for a second, please?
Don't be. What are you going to do with it?
Can I see that for
It's
a
very
second? please?
valuable. It's worth maybe $10.
Thank you. Get rid of this thing. Let's move on with this.
Here's
stuff.
the best thing about Scrub-A-Dub Car Wash. For $25 a month, you can get your car washed 31 times.
And with this winter coming, you're going to need it.
Yeah, you know what? Even
You're
I'm
gonna
thinking about
need-
doing that.
You're going to need a lot of car washes this winter.
Unlimited washes for
Unbelievable.
$25 a month. Yes, you too can have a clean car.
Paul, get
Take
over
a
here for
shower
second.
with
Come
a
on over
friend.
here, Paul. Come on over here.
Uh-oh,
Bring
Paul,
him
get
back
over
because
here.
we don't even get a chance.
never
We
get a
haven't
chance.
seen
Sit
this
down.
man in weeks, ladies and gentlemen. He's been to Texas. He's been out there goofing around the world, not doing what he's supposed to do, which is to appear on this program to show that we have the complete support of management of the Knob Scott
it fell.
Cafe.
Don't turn it on
and
yet.
Once again, Paul has not done his job. So we are going to rope Paul into here tonight. We're going to make Paul come in.
And
Or
we're
Paul.
going to make him hold this microphone.
Yeah, hold your own microphone, Jim.
You're going to hold your own microphone.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
because he's trying to help him out because it's so
Okay,
busy here.
Okay, but what
Look at-
we'll do,
and
we'll
poor
make
Jamie,
this-
he's
we'll
adjusting
make
the
this
cameras
very,
right now.
Very quick for you, okay?
That's right.
All right, you got your Patriots gear on.
course,
You're all
of course.
happy because
am
they
happy.
won yesterday. But the most important thing about
the
our,
most
we're going to call him
important
our Paul for now. The
Our
most
Paul.
important thing is our Paul has
Just don't
started an exercise program. So all you people out there, all you good folks out there, but lay the light up, please.
No,
Stop with
it
just-
looks better without the light, I think.
Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
our Paul
Yeah.
has decided that he's going to lose 50 pounds.
Really?
50.
That is the goal.
He's going for
How can you
50.
do that and
The
still
big
serve tables at the same time?
Oh,
Well, actually, it's
now
actually a little workout
we're
tonight,
going to
running around.
monitor his weight loss as the time goes on. Now, he started his first big workout yesterday, ran a couple of miles.
Right.
We had secret cameras out
Walked
there,
a couple
which
miles.
he did not know.
It's all right. You
Which
get
he
walking
did not
is just
know.
as good as running.
Walking is as good as running. When you say running, you can say walking. He was moving fairly fast. So we'll say he was in a slow run. He'll say it was a fast walk. But either way, he started, and now he's still alive to tell us.
Do you have a trainer?
They offer you a trainer over at Longfellow, but I didn't take one. I know what I have to do.
He's a macho. He didn't need some trainer to tell him what he has to do. Look at him. He's good to go now.
And
Please.
what time do you do your workouts, Paul?
Whenever I get the free time, I try to.
When
sit
is
up
that?
there.
When do you? That's probably half your problem.
Usually around lunchtime.
Okay, lunchtime. But you're open here. You're not open.
Yeah,
on
we're
lunchtime?
open at lunch. It's usually
Yeah.
a little slower at lunch. So after the rush, I can go up there, or I go late at night, like after 9 o'clock.
How
tonight.
was the crowd yesterday for the game?
We had a good crowd for the Patriots game.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody was in a good mood. They had their Patriots garb on. Everybody was.
Apparently,
Good
you
game.
went home with yours on and left it on.
No, this is a different
You did-
sweatshirt.
oh,
I had a
thank
different.
goodness.
I had my Belichick sweatshirt on yesterday.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
gray hoodie?
I had the gray hoodie.
Gray hoodie.
Belichick gray hoodie.
That's an original. It's a very old
The
one.
things that I must endure. Go ahead.
The
You know
sleeves,
he's-
the
you know
sleeves
he's
aren't cut
brilliant.
off.
You know he's brilliant, don't you?
Yes, he is. Yes,
He's
he
brilliant,
is.
you know.
Okay, I can't wait till we get to the World Series. Just remember,
We'll
I
get there.
will
We'll
get
there.
even in the
Paul,
World
you know
Series.
what? We don't want to take you away from your patrons because we know it's very important for you. Again, a big thank you for letting us do this on Monday nights
I
here.
love listening to you guys. I always listen
Hey.
to the show when the office
Most
after I'm done
important
too.
of all, good luck with the quest, because I'm gonna be monitoring. You know that every
All
week
right.
we're gonna give you a Paul report. Paul has now lost 3 pounds. Paul has lost 10 pounds. Paul, when he gets around 20, we have a big celebration.
We won't know
You'll
where
be able to
I don't
notice
know who he
that.
is.
I'll lose a couple of my chins.
I got a few of those too.
Thanks, guys.
All
God
right,
bless
thank
you,
you,
Paul.
Paul.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'll hold it out here until Jamie turns it off. There we go.
You talk about a fun person, boy, and a wonderful man.
And all right.
And we
So
are
we
grateful.
still have to give this away.
Okay.
And the Bravermans can't win it because they've won every one of these, right? Oh,
Bravermans went
okay.
out- Excuse
Yes,
me.
you know what? Your
The
dad
Bravermans-
absolutely qualifies.
The Bravermans went out and bought another car. They won so many. Just grab it up car washes.
All
They
right, so
said
I gotta
that.
think of a good question
We'll
now.
never be able to use all these. We may as well go get a new car. So they went out and bought themselves
I
a
got one.
brand new, mind you, Mercedes-Benz.
Mark, I don't know if you'll know this.
I mean, is life good or what?
I'm gonna
Now,
ask
Joe
it.
Braverman, the child, cannot use the car. He does not get any use of that car. He's hollering in the background, not yet. Believe me, if it's a brand new Mercedes-Benz, he gets to drive the used junk box. He will not drive the Mercedes-Benz.
All right, I got a question. Hang on. It's going to be something I talked about last week and actually gave it away to another kid. But you weren't here. You were late last week or
Gave away
something,
to
right?
another young person.
Sorry, to another person. He doesn't
Thank
like it when I say kids. Sorry, kids.
NFL coaches, college coaches, they're really good kids. 21-year-old guys are good kids.
Well,
and you
I have a
wonder why you're not going to
24-year-old,
respect them.
and
You
he's
don't
got the
respect
maturity
them.
of a
It doesn't
10-year-old,
make a
okay?
difference.
Sorry.
By law, they are
All right,
not
all right.
kids.
Yeah, well, you
when
can
they crash
explain that
cars,
to me.
when they do crazy things off the field, then you want to prosecute them as adults. So treat them as adults and treat them with the respect they deserve as being young people. End of commentary. Continue.
All right,
Go ahead.
all right. Hang on just a second. I just want to check one little thing before I ask this.
Are we headed
It's
towards?
going to be a baseball question.
Oh my goodness!
Baseball question.
Please make it something about the World
Here we
Series.
go, here we go, here we go. It's not going to be about the World Series because nobody cares.
Sorry.
Where am I?
I am having too
Yes.
much
Okay, I got
fun.
it. So in Major League Baseball right now, there are 3 active players that are as close to 3,000 hits. In other words, who is active in Major League Baseball who has the most hits that's active in Major League Baseball right now? Who are the 3 people? Anybody?
I know.
Bueller? Jimmy, you can't answer this question.
Oh, I keep
and I just
forgetting that.
confirmed this.
I keep forgetting that because you took away the car.
There's a little bit of a thing.
Now think about this.
Yeah.
If they don't answer, do I get this?
No.
Oh, okay.
It rolls over to next week. I'll
Forget
get
it.
you more. I'll get you more.
Forget it.
I'd play the Jeopardy music here, but that'd be really weird. Who's 1? Okay, that's 1. He's got 1.
Who did he say?
He said Ichiro.
Okay. Ichiro,
Okay,
yep.
so Ichiro is 1.
And that's after thousands of hits in the Japanese league.
That's true. Yeah,
So
he's got over 4,000
4,000
in his
hits. Okay,
career, yeah.
good. Mm-hmm. And he'll get there.
Active players. Active players. That's the other one. Come on. What's that? I didn't hear his name. That's two.
That's
Alex
two.
Rodriguez is the second one.
Still, and he'll probably get there.
Okay,
too,
so they're
believe
the
it or
two
not.
Yankees. They were the
He'll probably
easiest.
get
By the
there.
way, they were the ones that I got.
He'll probably
and
get
I
there.
couldn't one because I thought it was the other guy.
Before he sues baseball for millions. But go ahead.
And if it gives you
And
17 years in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun.
Lord. When
By
he
the way,
starts doing the music, we're in real trouble.
You can
ladies
text
and
me the answer, too, if you're out there, if anybody's watching us.
gentlemen. Yeah, he will personally
And,
bring the Scrub It Up Car Wash free ticket to your house.
No, I won't.
I'm not.
That'd be weird. That would be weird.
You think this isn't weird? Go ahead.
What's that? Do I have to give another hint? Another hint. He's in the American League.
Did Myers know without looking?
Did you know without looking?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Do you have his phone number? Sorry.
Nope.
I couldn't resist.
Don't want it.
Okay. He's played for 1, 2, 3. Ooh, he actually played a year for your Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
Now you should get it. It's funny. He's
I bet
a
you
forgotten
I'd
guy.
be a very easy way to give it away.
What's the other?
Very easy way to give
What
it
is
away.
it? Give him one more.
When he hits a home run, he does not like the players on his team to rub his head because, thank
There you go.
because it is an
And you
embarrassment.
needed help from your kid.
It's an embarrassment to him as a black man. He really doesn't like it, and I respect that about him. And he
Come on,
said
Joe,
that
give it to
several times, and his teammates still try to do it. And you'll see it on camera how upset he gets by it, which Adrian does have a good point. But Adrian, Adrian
Coming your way.
Beltre is already
keep
is
talking.
probably in the Hall of Fame category now. Gold Glove third baseman, a player that truly knows how to play this game. I still think that the Los Angeles Dodgers, he came up as a 16-year-old, they still think and realize how much they missed when he left the franchise and he was traded away. But Adrian Beltre, he can play the game. He can flat out play the game. And is considered by many to be the best third baseman in the American League. 600, yep.
4 hits.
Hits, yep.
17
17.
years, 395 home runs.
Yep.
I mean, he's totally a Hall of Famer.
He could put maybe a first ballot.
Yeah.
Could be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Dodgers,
Because you figure
Seattle,
he's what, 296
Boston, Texas.
hits? No, 396 hits away, right?
He's
396,
got,
yeah. 396.
396
hits away from
Good, you're
3,000.
good with math,
And if he
man.
stays healthy,
You didn't use a calculator?
pretty
need a
smart
calculator.
in my head. But if he continues along the pace that he's on right now,
285 career batting average,
Yeah,
which,
he'll get
by
there.
the way, all of a sudden is good.
he'll get there. Solid third baseman now. I mean, Gold Glove caliber third baseman. He can play the game.
All
Flat out
right,
play
we're
the game.
talking baseball. I was going to get into the NFL a little bit more, but I'll move over to baseball. Congratulations to the San Francisco Giants
I know this is killing
for
you.
winning the World
Gotta hold him up.
Series.
I know it's tough for you, big guy.
Third World Series in 5 years.
And without
Some
a doubt,
guy named Madison Bumgarner was pretty amazing. I'll admit that. And
pretty
I'll admit,
amazing.
I watched the last 5 innings.
Think of this. forget his first 2 wins.
I love.
They
By the way,
call
shouldn't
him
have gotten a win.
out of the bullpen. Yeah, at
They
first,
were arguing. At one point they said he
at
should.
first the scorer said that he was going to get the win.
Right.
Then they turned it into a save. But it doesn't make a difference. In 90 years, no one has done what he did.
very
Now,
impressive.
here's a North Carolina farm guy, young guy that owns his own farm, gets up, feeds all his chickens, cows, or whatever, every morning. No, these are animals. These are animals. He's a farm guy who has this motion that he spreads out so far. He's been nicknamed the California Condor. But I'm gonna tell you something. I've been watching baseball for
I
the
know.
better part
gonna
of
bring that
my adult life. And I've seen a lot of great pitching in the postseason. I've seen from the 60s, Sandy Koufax set standards that I thought no one would even come close to.
Pedro did.
0.95. No, he didn't play in as many World Series.
Correct.
0.95 ERA in the World Series. Sandy Koufax, 59 Dodgers. Sandy Koufax, 63 Dodgers. Sandy Koufax, 65 Dodgers. All world champions. Sandy Koufax was that good. Now, he wasn't that good in 59, but he still gets a ring there, too.
right.
Then, hold on.
Go ahead.
Then I jumped to a guy who never really got the credit he deserves, Juan
Bob-
Marichal.
Oh,
one of
yeah,
the
no.
greatest pitchers that ever pitched in this game.
Another
got
giant.
into one World Series, 1962. They lose to the Yankees in 7 games. Then you flip to Bob Gibson.
I love
Bob
Bob
Gibson won Game 7 in the 64 World Series.
We're actually watching the
Won
last hour.
Game 7 in the 67 World Series. Lost Game 7 when Kurt Flood tripped and fell and a ball went over his head in the 68 World Series. Bob Gibson, one of the great World Series performers, still holds the record for 17 strikeouts in a game. In a game. That was Game 1 of the 68 World Series, which they would go on to lose, believe it or not. But all of that said, this guy, Madison Bumgarner, think about this. 20 years old, he pitches in his first World Series. They win. Comes back a couple of years later, 22, they win. 25, they win. Now, they did this without Matt Cain, who was one of their best, who was supposed to be their ace. Matt Cain gets hurt, he's relegated to the bullpen. You're talking about a young guy who was at 25 with 3 world championship rings on his finger. And think about this, big fella, and this is another good one that I really like. 0.26 earned run average in the World Series. I think he's 4-0 now. 4-0. But the best part for me was this part. When I considered in 90 years, no one has done what he did. Not Koufax, not Gibson,
Not Babe Ruth.
not Babe. Well, Babe Ruth, he's
Came
got
close.
some big numbers.
Yes, he
But
did.
I'm just saying, in the modern
Yeah, they're
Madison
talking about Christy
Bumgarner
Mathewson.
is Christy Mathewson back in those times.
like the 1905.
But I'm
though.
just saying, that's the dead ball era. We're
Yes,
talking about the
I
live ball
understand.
era. This guy is
juice
that
ball era.
special. I mean, he was magnificent. And just to sit there and be watching up close, he was breathtaking. I mean, by the time he came on in Game 7 in the 5th inning, you're sitting there going, there's no way. He's got 2 days rest, and he's got to be dead tired, Jimmy. He's got to be dead tired. By this time, you were tuned in, I know. It's a
Fifth inning.
It's a
Fourth
3-2
inning,
game.
fifth inning.
It's a. He
I
shuts
saw them get
the
that
door.
run. I
He
saw them get that
shuts
run.
The door.
Was that in the 5th inning?
And says it's over. First batter he faces gets a double off of him. He shuts down the rest of the inning.
Keep going, because I got
The next to the last batter hits a ball up the left center field gap that's misplayed by the center fielder, Gregor Blanco, kicked by the left fielder, Perez, and Butler circles the bases and gets the third. Now he's got all the pitching he's done, 60-something pitches. He has to get Perez, the catcher, Salvador Perez?
Yes.
The catcher. He's got to get him for the last out, and he gets him. And he gets him. And I'm sitting to myself saying, now you've watched the World Series, all of these series games in your life. Have you ever seen anything like this? My clear, flat answer was not that I can remember. And I know that a lot of people are sitting out there going, yeah, well, they're not numbers. This guy was that dominant. LCS MVP, World Series MVP, and he earned it. And you know where he is now? Back on his farm in North
He's
Carolina.
on the farm.
Getting up at 5:30 in the morning, sunrise in the morning, to feed the chickens, the ducks, the animals, the cows, and whatever. Country strength, it's called. And God knows Madison Bumgarner has it.
Okay.
Man, he was special.
We just texted Joyce to let her know that our
He
thoughts are with her.
was special.
Joe, come on up here. You're gonna get to ask that question because you've been hucking me about it the whole show. Come on up here because you two will talk about this and I'll be like, yeah.
Well, you
All right.
just stay right here so you can take your little beating for saying that
Jamie.
that World Series doesn't mean anything to me.
Let's put the mic on.
House of Un-American Activities is still waiting to question Jimmy Young on his statement regarding the World Series.
I
Continue.
watched the
Joe,
most
how are
exciting
you?
part, seventh game.
And Joe Braveman, he said, if it's a 7th game, I'll watch. Didn't we sit here and say it could be a 7th game, Jim?
And it was
I'll
a 7th
watch
game.
then. Well,
And
he's
I
got to live.
watched.
Yeah,
For how long?
I watched the whole game. I watched from
How
the
long?
But-
How long?
So San Francisco scored. It was 2-2 when I tuned in, right?
Okay.
So I saw go ahead run.
Okay.
And then we've been watching the last out. I watched Pablo Sandoval made the last out. See, I even remember that. The panda. Do you like the panda?
he caught the last out. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
caught the last out.
Yep.
Right, fell on his back.
Yep.
Woo! So I got to see that, and then I turned it off.
Is that video playing? Is that
Yes,
video
it's
playing?
been
Because,
playing.
man, I'm telling you,
It's
that
very
was
cool. I love
that
it.
was
I love the fact that we've got,
unbelievable. And it's the
people-
wide shot.
people
and you see
shoot
him
it
come
from the
down,
stands.
and you see him come down and make the catch. I said to myself, do you realize what we're seeing? I mean,
That was-
this
I
is the
felt good
beauty.
about that.
This
I
is
got to watch the
this
last
is
few.
this is what I tried to tell you, Jim, a couple of weeks ago. The event itself speaks volumes because it's the American game. It's still the grand old game. And to see that happen, and remember, your young eyes got a chance to see this. You got a chance to watch the Red Sox win.
That's right.
You got a chance, but you never saw anything like this, have you? You ever see a guy pitch like that?
I've never seen a pitching performance
I haven't
like that.
seen it.
The only one I could relate this to was Josh Beckett back in 2007, and he wasn't as dominant as Bumgarner was in this postseason.
Yeah.
The only question is, going back to the Red Sox, we've called them a dynasty because they've won 3 in 10 years.
Who called them a dynasty? We did?
Well, people.
Go ahead.
People
Red
have
Sox?
come.
I want to hear this. This is
All right,
interesting.
all
Go
right,
ahead.
all right, go ahead.
I think this establishes the Giants as one of the better dynasties in sports because they have won 3 in 5 years. And the other 2 years, I keep bringing this up to people, the last 2 years, the other 2 years they did not win the World Series. They didn't even make the postseason.
Make postseason? Nope.
So my question is, are they a dynasty?
Well, the hardest thing for me when you consider dynasties, it's a word in modern sports that we just throw around, Joe. I mean, everybody's a dynasty. Once you win 3 times, you're a dynasty. When you consider, think about this. When you consider the great dynasties of this game, and you go back to the Yankees of the 20s, even the Detroit Tigers of the mid-30s, then you go to the Yankees of the 40s and 50s. You talk about Joe DiMaggio's teams that won, I think, 9 and 10 years. That's a dynasty. I mean, you're not talking about a dynasty, but today, the way the game is spread out, yes, they can be considered a dynasty for one reason. For one reason. Remember, people keep forgetting this. The last National League team to do this in a 5-year span was the St. Louis Cardinals of the 1940s. That means a 70-year gap before a National League team was able to get there. Now remember, from 1996 to 2000, the Yankees won
4 times.
Got it. That is a dynasty to a degree. 2-3, missed one, win the next one with Jeter. I mean, they won 96, lost 97, Marlins won. Then they came back 98, 99, 2000. They win, okay, dynasty. But San Francisco, showing you how hard it is in the National League to do that, I think today you'd have to consider them a dynasty, Joe.
I would totally agree, and considering the teams that were in the field in the National League, I mean, these were 2 wild card teams playing each other in the World Series. This was the first time, and I can't remember the stat, the first time that 2 teams under 90 wins played each other in the World Series. That just goes to show that anyone can win it.
That's why it was so boring.
We could easily hassle you right now.
He's going to beat me. He's going to beat me.
No, not on camera. No. I won't do that. No. He'll try
People
to
are
use
throwing
it.
things at me.
He'll try
I
to
don't
use it
think
in court later. No, thank you.
Baseball is boring now. Sorry.
Well, you know.
Would you call it boring
I
if
still
the Red
don't
Sox
know.
were in that?
No, in fact, because the Red Sox had a great story. They rallied the whole town. They grew the beards. I mean, it was a great story.
Then you missed a great story.
All right, fine.
Because the San Francisco Giants
can live with
and
it.
even the Kansas City Royals, those were 2 marvelous stories. And if Kansas City had won, I'd have said the same thing. That's a marvelous story. 29 years since they've been there? 29 years? I mean, people have been born, died, people born, have children, and they never saw Kansas City reach this point. The Giants, 1, miss 1. Like you said, didn't make playoffs. 2, miss 1. 3, you want to miss 1 again next year, then we come back and win another one.
Was it every other year, right?
Every
Isn't
other
that
year.
So it's
I
the
mean-
even year. So they're going to stink next year and then they'll
But
win.
but the young man said it best.
Win in 16.
The beauty of it is,
The young
this
man.
is what baseball wanted. This is what baseball needed. Because if the same old teams win all the time and your lower market teams don't get a chance to get there, people are going to say, why are we doing this? Everybody wanted the Dodgers to win. Everybody wanted to see the Dodgers in there against either Detroit or Baltimore or one of the bigger name teams. Who knew these guys, Joe Braverman, Lorenzo Cain? Who knew Perez, the catcher? Who knew Alcides Escobar, the shortstop? Now all of a sudden, people around the country know this team. Let's see what they do next year, because you got to try to come back and
They could be a lot
duplicate
better
this.
next year.
They might be better. Now, losing Shields, they're not going to be better, but they'll go after free agent and find an ace for their staff. But Ned Yost managed his butt off for what he had. And 3-2, when was the last time we had a game like that in Game 7? 3-2, with all that drama coming down to the end. It was, I'm telling you, you missed it, partner. You missed something
I
that
didn't
was
miss
great.
it. I saw
It
Game
was
7.
great.
I was part of the 52 million
It
viewers
was
who
great.
watched. It was.
And if they missed most of the series, then you don't even know how they got there. I mean, think about this. The
An
night
8
before,
rating and a 13
does it
household
make a
share
difference? But
for the
think
Game
about this.
6.
Think about, okay. And San Francisco got blown out in Game 6.
10-0.
10-0. So which means everybody thought, there's no way. They don't recover from that. They're blown out in Game 7. And it almost mirrored the year that the Yankees lost the fabulous year, the fabulous run that they made after 9/11. And they wound up playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they wind up getting that game to be 3-2 going back to Arizona. And they got blasted 16-2. I think it was 16-2 or something like that. Andy Pettit was tipping his pitches. They killed him in game 6. And then they come back in Game 7, 1-1 going into the 8th inning when Alfonso Soriano hits the home run. It looks like it wins the World Series for them. They lose it in the 9th. And it's still a classic World Series. And from there to this, they almost mirrored each other to me.
Yeah, that was basically, it was like watching 2001 all over again when it was the misplay by Perez and Gordon went to third. You were kind of thinking if the Royals could pull off a walk-off hit or a walk-off home run,
Oh,
it
my
would have
goodness.
been
It would have been
one
crazy.
of the greatest postseason. It would have been one of the greatest postseason moments
And we
of
would
all
have had
time.
to rebuild Kauffman Stadium.
Right, because no one could ever
would have
hold it.
tore that stadium down. We need a new stadium starting tomorrow morning. Why? Because this one is gone. Now, as I said, you want to be a sportscaster, and I constantly prep you on the things I want you to remember. You have to remember things like this. You got to keep all this in your head. Can't look in a book all the time. You got to have this and remember what your eyes saw. Because Joe Braverman, I'm telling you, when I sat there and I watched that series, I said to myself, every game to me, I said, it's a pretty darn good series. And the deeper it got, the more I was saying, this is a pretty good series. Because think about this, and very few people want to admit this. The Giants did it with very little pitching.
Yes.
Peavy, knocked out. Hudson, knocked out. And these are their back of the rotation guys. No Matt Cain. He's not there because if you got Matt Cain up there with Bumgarner, this could have been a shorter series. A healthy Matt Cain, shorter series. Kansas City, they come out there and they say, we can pitch with these guys and we can play with these guys. And I love their style. Although, I don't think they ran enough. If the truth be told, I think they should have ran more.
Yeah, I will agree that they used the small ball, long ball, which is what we talked about last week.
Yep.
And what I said last week is I'm a fan of strategic baseball. You know, I would like a show, but I would just, whatever way you can get runs is...
You produce them.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I always talk about manufacturing. You have to know how to manufacture runs. The Giants manufactured that last one. I mean, you have to get a guy on, get him over, get him in. That's the whole theory of baseball. You get him on, get him over, get him in. I think he scored on an out, in fact. Once you've manufactured a run, we can do it with no out. We can do it without a out. We can do it without a hit. Walk, second, third, get him home. And that's what the Giants did coming down the stretch. They did not blow anybody out other than the Pittsburgh wildcard game when they had the grand slam. But they got the big hit when they needed it. They made the defensive plays when they needed to make them, regardless of the 2 outs in the ninth when they scared everybody half to death.
Yes.
But besides that, because when that ball was kicked around the outfield, I was going to myself, Bumgarner must be thinking, have you guys lost your mind? We're right here. I got us all the way here. Okay, it's a little soft fly ball to left center field. Gregor Blanco, what are you doing? You don't let the ball play you and go by you. We're in the doubles defense. All you got to do is play it safe, keep him at first base. They got to need a home run to beat us now. And when Butler was running around the bases, I was going to myself, could you believe this? And I said to myself, maybe he'll try to score. Do an inside home run. And if you get thrown out of home plate, what a way to end the World Series.
That would be.
Can't get thrown out by feet, though. It has to be close.
Right.
You got to get thrown out sliding with your feet up, trying to hook slide around the plate.
Yes.
Or bowl the catcher over.
Yes.
Or doing something crazy.
Well, they're not going to allow that anymore.
Well, no, in that case, I honestly think the umpire would have gone, I want to see this. Boom! He'd turn around. You still holding the ball? Yeah. Okay, he's out now. I'm going to let it get. He'd probably said, there is no. Do you want to get out of there alive? Joe Braven's at the plate. And he sees. He says, oh, no, this is going to be a collision at the plate. I'm going to take a step back. Oh, my gosh. He's going to bowl over Buster Posey. Bang! He bowls over Buster Posey. And you go, there's an interference. I mean, he's blocking the plate, and he can't. I'd be chipping your name on your tombstone, Joe Braverman. Brave young person, lost his life umpiring home plate in Game 7 of the World Series. You become a legacy, but you'd be a gone legacy.
Yes.
All right, that's good. Joe, I'm going to interrupt and get you back so you can finish your chicken.
All right, that's
okay.
all right.
Go back, finish your chicken.
That's
Thank
all
you
right.
for standing in for me when I
Hey, no
popped
problem.
up.
Thank you thank you, partner, for standing in for me and realizing how important the World Series is.
Yes. I thought I'd give you someone to talk baseball with.
Thank you very much. You can come back anytime and talk baseball. Now, there are a couple of other items that are very important that we really have to get to.
I knew you'd say this. This is the serious part of the show.
Because this is the serious part of the show.
Serious part of the show.
And for people out there, you are fans. And, I always try to respect your intelligence and the things that you think about, the things you want to say or do, and the things you should be looking at. There are a couple of stories that really grabbed attention over the weekend, and we need to bring them to you. I want to, Jamie, I want to take a look at first. There was a protest in Minnesota yesterday. And this is the protest. Over 5,000 people showed up, thank you, outside of the new Minnesota Stadium. I think it's a brand new Minnesota Stadium. Yeah, Minnesota, the Viking Stadium, to protest the name Redskins. Now, this 5,000 people in Minnesota, who cares about people in Minnesota? This 5,000 people have decided, we really need to get the NFL aware that we are upset about this. And I expect this to pick up as we go around the country. You don't get 5,000 people to turn out, and most of those people did not even go to the game. They just got there, as you see the video, to voice their opinion and say, this is wrong. When will the NFL join the 21st century and say, look, Dan Snyder, we got to have a talk with you. Your arrogance or the league's arrogance, we are alienating our own fans. When this many people show up to make a point, you've got to listen, Jimmy.
No, I agree.
You
Look,
gotta listen.
I don't even like to say the name.
Yeah,
I call it the Washington Football Club.
Washington Football Club.
Washington Football Club. I think they should name themselves the Americans. After all, it's in D.C. It's the capital of the United States. It would be the best, only way, I think, the only name that he could counter the Redskins with. Well,
good
I
point.
said it. Sorry, my bad.
That might make it.
And
that
we'll
might
see.
make it.
We'll
But
see.
and you could pick, the Washington Revolutionaries.
Oh,
You could
speaking
pick-
of the revolution,
you
that was a
could
good
pick-
segue. How did you know that I wanted to talk about them? How did you know that?
Get there.
All right, real quick. See back here, it says, Man Cave, no New York fans allowed. and I've got the Revolution logo up here. I have no idea what camera I'm on right now, but this is the New England Revolution
I don't know if they can
logo.
see it. I hope they can't see
They
it.
can't see it. It's
Good.
it's because it's all washed out. Oh wait.
Oh,
look.
no, now there's the
Yes,
flag.
Jamie's
Oh,
gonna
my
get one up there
goodness.
for us. By the way, this logo has been under attack by the fans. They want a new logo.
Are you kidding me?
No,
For
I'm
what?
not kidding you. For the Revolution.
Why?
Good point. I happen to like that.
I don't think it's that
I
bad.
think
There's
it's
nothing
a good,
wrong with that.
No, I think it's nice.
But if we went, okay,
They wanted to
Washington.
go-
Washington.
Oh, back to
I said
Washington.
the revolutionaries.
I understand that.
Revolutionaries.
I know that you were talking
Like
about.
a mob
So
of
I went to the
or
New
the
England
Washington
Revolution.
Pilgrims. Or the Washington Pilgrims. Any
The fans are trying to say, hey, we need a new logo. I don't know. Let's just talk about the team, because the team plays Sunday at 5 o'clock at Foxborough Stadium, at Gillette Stadium, against Columbus. Second game of the playoff.
yep.
They play 2 games, and it's most goals. It's soccer.
I don't have a problem with that.
You know what? It's fair.
Believe
One
me,
at
we
home,
need some
one at
scoring.
home.
We need some scoring in soccer.
4-2.
So
They
let's play
just-
most games.
Well, I'll tell you what,
most goals.
they scored 4 goals.
Yes.
In Columbus. And I wish him well. And I've got to get a call into Mike Burns, their president. He's an old friend, and I'd love to have him on. He grew up in Marlboro, which isn't far from Framingham, hence the call I'll make. All right?
Okay.
So
Are we
now
ready
I
to
know
move?
I'm on that camera.
Are we ready to move
This
again
camera.
now?
That's what I meant. This camera. This camera.
Okay, and I'm on that one, right? Okay.
Yeah, no,
Either way.
wait. Hang on.
Go ahead.
All right? Okay. Let's go to Adrian Peterson
Adrian Peterson / Ray Rice.
/ Ray Rice. Ooh, that would be good.
Two cases will come up this week in the NFL that a lot of people are going to be looking at. We tried to get in touch with Terry O'Neill, the I believe executive president of NOW, the National Organization of Women, because these cases are coming down this week. Ray Rice is more down the venue of what Terry O'Neill would talk about. We'll try to get her on in the very near future. But the Adrian Peterson situation is maybe settled as of tomorrow. He may make a plea. He may take a plea on that's the child beating situation where he left marks on his child after punishing his child, and now they found out there was another charge for one of his other children, took a switch to his child, and he left marks on the child, which means that Adrian Peterson may be back playing pretty soon. Ray Rice's case is much bigger, much more important. He may wind up playing in the National Football League before this season is over.
And
in fact, it could happen. Hold on. The arbiter has to make a decision come Wednesday. Testimony from the National Football League Commissioner, Roger Goodell, Ray Rice, Ozzie Newsome has to be there, of the Baltimore Ravens. I believe Biscotti, I believe the owner of the Ravens has to be there too. I'm telling you right now, if this happens, you better expect a firestorm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
For Ray Rice.
Oh my God. Women are going to come out of the woodwork for this one. And after that video being shown, I have to take this approach. Due process. He was already punished. And that's what everybody's gonna say. Well, he got punished once, now he got punished twice. You can't have double jeopardy. You can't have all of this. It still puts the pressure on Roger Goodell for his job, Jimmy, because many people are calling for his resignation the way he handled this situation. Now you're talking about the possibility that Ray Rice could not only come back, they may have to reinstate him and give him back pay. Could you imagine what the furor is going to be?
Crazy.
If this comes up, I'm telling you, it's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless he says, I'm not going to take that back pay. I'm going to donate it to domestic anti-domestic
It's not going to make a difference,
violence.
Jimmy. Nope.
Well, it's not a
gonna
bad
make a difference.
gesture.
Jimmy, it's a wonderful gesture.
Thank
but
you.
it's not going to stop.
I'm not
it's
going
not
to
going to
stop
the It's going to come
So
from
what team's
so
gonna
many
pick him
women
up?
around.
What team's gonna pick him
No,
up?
if they reinstate him, he may have to go back to the Baltimore Ravens.
But the
Let's
Ravens
say
have
they
already said that you're gone.
If they reinstate him,
Yeah, I
the case
understand.
becomes void. You have to take him back, is what I'm saying.
But they can cut him at any time.
They can do whatever they want to do.
Bargaining, right?
But if you do that, then legally you are still liable for the money and so forth. I'm telling you, I really thought that Ray Rice would be gone for the year. Then you come back next year and you try to start over again. But I'm telling you, if this one goes down, Jimmy, this could be real bad.
Okay, this is good because
Real
we
bad.
got a big finish here. Big finish. Because there was something that happened in stock car racing, the NASCAR yesterday, that once again shows you they're clueless.
Watch this.
They are clueless.
This is the
Yeah,
end of the
excellent.
race. Jeff Gordon gets out of his car.
This is the playoffs, guys. This is the best drivers playing off. This is the first time they've had a playoff system, so there was an incident on the track, Jimmy.
No,
No, the playoffs. This is what they call the playoffs. Sure.
No.
Yeah.
They've had a sprint cup before. It's the chase.
I know they've had
It's
the
called
cup.
chase.
I know.
Yeah, but it's a
the
different
chase.
format.
Right. It's a different format. They're
Now-
trying to make it playoff-like.
Now,
They
Brad
eliminate people.
Keselowski comes and hits Jeff Gordon.
For an incident they had on the track.
This is what evolved at the end of this. Once the race was over, Gordon goes with his pit crew over to Brad Keselowski.
there's a push.
Kevin Harvick comes in, pushes Brad Keselowski into the fray, and now this is what you have. Whereas this is Jimmy, this is dangerous. People
Sure.
can get hurt in stuff like this. Helmets were being thrown. Look at this. We talk about hockey. This is a melee. Look at all of these people. You have camera people trying to get in, trying to make sure that they can get their shots in and so forth. This was that bad, Jimmy. And I'm telling you, the hooliganism of this sport now is gone to a much more dangerous level. The reason being is that Jeff Gordon immediately came out after this and said, next time I get him on the track, I'm going to run him. I'm going to run into him. Now, you're talking about people driving around a track at
200 miles an hour.
close to 200 miles an hour, and in some cases over 200 miles an hour. And for all of you out there, most of you, many of you who are watching this broadcast, you drive cars. And every now and then when a person with bad touch cuts you off, you know how dangerous it can be. You have professionals talking about going after each other in speeding automobiles, purposely crashing into each other. You're going to get somebody killed. And God forbid if you hit a car intentionally, that car goes airborne in through the screen or
It's happened before.
or through the infield or anywhere where it strikes an innocent victim. How are you going to answer this, NASCAR? What are you going to say?
I know, you're going to suspend their best drivers?
What are you going to say to the grieving families? Forget the multi-million-dollar lawsuits. You'll pay those off. But my fear is that this mentality that is pervasive in this came have at it. That's what their motto is, have at it for life. Have at it. We're going to let the drivers go. A couple of years ago, this came in. They said, we're going to have at it. No. This is a perfect going to control your getting into fights in the pits. You like that stuff. To me, I'm thinking of all the young people that were watching that think, Jimmy, this is we should behave. If something goes wrong,
right.
let's just start throwing punches,
Right.
taking our helmets off, hitting each other with helmets. And
This actually feeds the road rage
Oh, my
syndrome.
gosh.
People on the road.
and we get people killed on the road every
I know.
day through road rage.
I know it.
These are professionals in road rage.
I know it.
And now Jeff Gordon is talking about, I'm going after this guy.
Right.
The next time we're on the track, I am going to run him. Jimmy, that's an open threat. Now,
No.
let's say he hits Brad Keselowski, drives Brad Keselowski into a wall, and Brad Keselowski gets killed,
That's
which could very easily happen.
would be involuntary manslaughter.
Thank you.
I just want to say that would probably be it.
When does the law step in and say, you cannot
Cannot do
have
that.
this type of behavior? Now, I remember.
I'm interested to
I
hear what-
remember
has
one of
NASCAR
the,
said anything
No,
what
they
they're
said they're
gonna
going to be fined, but that's
Fined?
That's a joke. These guys make so much money. Do you think they're going to care about whatever fine? Listen,
Kick them out of the chase.
kick them out of exactly. You have to do something so severe that they realize this cannot be. I'm telling you, Jimmy, the speeds. I've driven race cars. I know how dangerous it is. 1 inch of a mistake, oversteer, understeer, not brake
I
fast
spun
enough,
it.
anything, and you
I
could.
did it too.
But you
Spin it.
weren't doing it at 189 miles
Doing
an
it
hour.
at 110.
I'm just saying, You put the speed factor in,
Yep.
and all the other drivers that you are endangering in that situation
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're packed in like this.
Right.
You got
That's crazy.
60, you got 10, 15 cars that are going to be this close.
Have you done hot laps? Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen,
crazy.
I'm telling you,
That's crazy.
I have no idea what the thinking of NASCAR is. I really, really don't. And I like racing. Formula One much better. But NASCAR, you got to find it. You got to find it before you and I are going to be sitting here talking about loss of life. Let me try to explain to you what $1 million fine is to start. Each one of you is going to be fined $1 million. That's it, $1 million. I'm taking $1 million out your pockets. Okay, now once I take that $1 million out of your pockets, you're going to be black flagged in the chase. You're going to lose
You'll get
laps.
thrown out.
And then you're going to get thrown out.
Right.
And if I see anything that looks like aberrant behavior out there, we'll stop the race. And if the fans want to get upset, we'll stop the race and tell
Give 'em a
them why we're
refund.
stopping the race. And we'll give them money back.
Right.
Because we cannot allow this to go on. Look at this to me. This
I know,
is
it's crazy.
disgraceful.
It is.
This
Horrible.
is just, I mean, my gosh. That's like, Jimmy, the frightening part about that is a riotous scene.
Oh, no
That's
question.
like a melee out of control.
Right.
And camera person has a camera up
it
against
must
their
have been
eye
a-
like
it
this,
must have been
right?
2 dozen?
No. You have the camera lens up against your eye. Somebody slams that camera into your eye.
Lose your eye.
You lose your eye.
Broken.
Broken orbital bone.
Orbital bone.
And
Thank you.
all of a sudden, or you knock your eye out of socket. I don't know how much money somebody's going to give you to say, gee, we're going to pay you. We're going to give you $1 million because you were injured in a melee that shouldn't have taken place. Now, everybody says nobody likes Brad Keselowski because he creates dangerous situations on a track.
And he's won 5 times.
Yeah, but he's also I believe he's won a driver's championship too. But that's not the case. That's not the case, Jimmy. The case is if Brad Keselowski is that far out of star. And Lauryn Hill found out that she had an inoperable brain tumor that was going to take her life. In a that. I don't know how I'd handle it, and I'm a grown man. Instead of feeling sorry for herself, instead of going into that, well, it's me and me alone, she becomes a spokesperson for pediatric cancer in children. She gets on the internet, starts doing a whole bunch of things, starts drawing national attention to pediatric cancer. God bless her. Well, for once, and I'm going to say this because I got to say this because I have been harder on the NCAA than just about anybody. Some of their archaic, barbaric antiquated rules and the dumb stuff that the NCAA does just irritates me sometimes. But this one time, they may have gotten it right. The NCAA moved the start of the college basketball season back 2 weeks. Up. Yeah, they moved it up 2 weeks. Well, it'll be back on the calendar to me, so it's up or back. They started the season, the college basketball season, 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
That Lauryn Hill could play in a game.
And they sold tickets at an arena that seats, I think it was Xavier,
Yep.
offered their home arena,
yep.
which holds 10,000 people.
Yep.
And all the proceeds of the people that went
First basket and the last basket in the game. And I couldn't help but think.
Girls
here she
get
is
it
right
right,
here.
don't they?
Boom. There she is.
Girls get it
scoring.
right.
And
They just do.
You know, a very touching moment after she scored the first basket, they stopped the game. Pat Head Summit, the legendary Tennessee coach, came up and presented her with an award for her courage, for all the things she stood for. Later in the game, she misses a shot here. She gets the rebound. Last basket of the game, she puts that in too. This is such a story that is so much more important than sports itself. You know,
human element.
When this young lady's life comes to an end, it's going to be a very sad part of me that day. I'm going to think of losing a child, losing someone, I'll say child in this case, someone's child or someone's young person, a teenager, losing her life. But it goes back to an expression that I learned when I was very young. It's not the length of life, it's the quality of life that counts. Lauryn Hill has made a quality statement in her life that will stand in her life for many, many years to come. I'm told there's going to be a foundation named after her. There's going to be so many other things that are going to happen. And, you know...
So end up having more of an impact.
Yep, I'm hoping more than anything... is so very important from a person who has a strong faith in a higher power. If there is a place to go that's a better life than this one, I pray that you will go there. I pray that the doors of heaven will be open to you and that for the rest of eternity that you may rest in peace.
Amen to that. All right. Good job. Look at, we got another standing vote.
Team. Casey Jones was the assistant coach. Was a rookie on that team who we had on the show last week.
Yes.
And there's so much to this story. And they tell me the documentary is marvelous. It comes out November 6th, right?
November 6th. That's Thursday. For Jimmy Myers, I'm Jimmy Young, and
reminding you
that,
once again, that's what it is in sports.
See you next time.